Digital Diary, Self Monolog, Day 4. Yeah, today was exhausting. I just came back from my first 8-hour shift in a while. Being at uni, I had a lot of classes, so I put off working for a little bit, just because I needed to focus on my classes. But since this semester is my final one and I only have 2 classes left, I was more prone to trying to look for a part-time job, because I probably need it. So I'm doing pretty good on that. So the more hours I get, you hear this, the more hours you get, the more kudos you get, like, oh, you got more hours. They definitely like you. That's what they always say, so doing something right. Good little bullish thing to start off with. But this digital diary self-monologue will be about, let me see. I think it should be about like time management because there's been a lot recently. I've been trying to schedule some doctor's appointments. I've been trying to do get better at handling my own finances, when it's coming in, so I'm finally able to save up with my job, stuff like that. It's pretty common sensual, most people would think. So I think time management would be a good topic to do today. So, time management, the stuff that I usually, I've gotten better at it, but I could still use a lot of work, so I think talking about it and affirming it out loud will probably be good for me. So, time management, where to begin? 3 things. Have an alarm system, like a wake up alarm for doctor's appointments, this and that. Have an alarm. I already have that, but if anyone's watching this and for some odd reason, this is just my own personal diary, my own self monologue, and I talk about random stuff. Sometimes I talk about controversial topics that seem a little heated, but today I'm going to try to keep it neutral. I'm going to try to talk about something more professional, not controversial. So this is time management, but 3 things that would definitely be good for time management is an alarm system, which I just stated. The second thing would be having a calendar, whether it be an actual calendar in front of you or a digital calendar on your phone, whether it be, let's just say you have an iPhone, Apple Calendar, or even like, I have an iPhone and use Google Calendar. Ooh, I'm using 2 corporations. I don't care. But yeah, I'm actually switching to Google Calendars. They're a lot more flexible with day counts and stuff. They're a lot more streamlined when it comes to their format. That's just better for me because, I could schedule all my classes on there. I could put all my work dates on there. I'd basically always put whatever you're doing, either like, let's just say you're on call and you can't multitask in a moment, try to call in a private place where you actually have a pen and paper, or, use a double tab and, write the appointment date down. Let's just say it's a doctor's appointment or some sort of like school appointment. Write the date down on a piece of paper and write the time and the place. Make sure you get the address if you don't know where that place is and it's your first time. And, just this and that. It's pretty straightforward, but for sometimes people get so overwhelmed that they, because me, I've never used a calendar before until like a few months ago. So, I'm really trying to change my identity to more streamlined, organized, and up to date on everything I do. Just because, I used to just put it all in my head like, oh, this and that, and I completely forget. Because I'm overwhelmed with all these things I gotta do, so I might as well write it down and just not think about it and let it remind me when it reminds me, like on the calendar. That just seems a lot more efficient when it comes to it because, you know, it's basically just you have to like be more efficient with this sort of stuff because life is fast, especially in this day and age, especially in just in the world itself, digitally. IRL, everything's moving very, very fast. There's a lot of crazy things happening. So the more prepared you are, the more organized you are for the things that can be organized. Because there are things that can't be organized, like crazy coincidences, like meeting a friend you haven't seen in years. You won't know that sort of stuff. So for the things you can organize, it's better to just be an organized person and get all this stuff done. So you can have a more efficient life and you can focus on the things that actually matter, like family, friends, developing your social circle, this and that. For the things that matter to me, I feel like if I free myself more from the time management side and I actually have more free time, then I could put it towards more work endeavors, not just my actual 9 to 5, but I'm also planning on, doing side projects, this and that, not for my uni, just for myself, because like this is a form of a side project, but it's more or less just a digital memoir, if that makes sense. And I'm gonna rewatch these, and I'm gonna be like, why am I so jumbled? Because I'm trying to be more streamlined as well. This is one of the goals. This one was basically after like a whole like mind spurt of like, oh, I just had this grand idea for like a project I'm actually working on, and I just had a flood of ideas that just came to me. So this is why my mind's all scrambled right now because I'm literally Like, I already did a lot of it about it, and I was already in the gym walking and jogging and stuff like that. I'm already down like 10 pounds. That's actually good. Self to note, I did lose a lot of weight recently, and I'm going to keep losing a lot of weight. That's a good thing, though, because I was like 282, now I'm like 276, 275, and this is only like 3 weeks of like intermediate fasting and switching my food to more lean meats and mainly carnivore diet, because I heard that carnivore diet was good for you, and that's what I'm doing. So I also take speaking of tablets, I take fish oil tablets. Don't mind me, I'm just going to take 2 on the video. But I digress on that. That also, the omega-3s help with my cognitive function. I think it's a pretty okay thing. I do have my water in here, so I'll take it after the video. Time management. Have an alarm system, have a calendar, and make sure that, if it's your first time doing an appointment, write down the time, the address, and the person that called you, depending on the place you go. Because if you have the person's name, let's just say it's a primary care doctor you need to go to, you have their name. So let's just say, the doctor's name or this and that's name, you just say their name. It's better, just if you're doing stuff like that. Calendar, alarm system. The third thing is also having a journal. This hasn't worked for me only because of my autistic spectrum. I'm not using it as an excuse, because I've tried journaling multiple times throughout my life, and every time I write something down, it's just I can't write fast enough for my brain to think fast enough. My brain is basically a million times faster than my hands. Autism in a nutshell. Autism in a nutshell. ADHD is actually a form of autism, I heard. It's basically, I think I have ADHD, Asperger syndrome, and I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this literally. I don't even know if I have it or not. But when I was younger, I used to like see spirits and stuff. I'm assuming that's schizophrenia. And someone actually told me, I'm completely spiraling, but I want to finish this. This is actually funny. Someone actually said if you have autism, ADHD, and schizophrenia, it's like you're literally in God mode. It's so funny. It's just a little controversial, a little topic. Completely besides the point. I felt like I could say that. It's funny, But yeah, I'm not ashamed of admitting that I'm on the spectrum. I'm not ashamed of admitting that I have these diagnoses. Everyone has something here and there. And, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm actually proud of it, because this actually makes me more organized as a person. It makes me a lot more efficient with my life. And, my goals are to be more organized. But the only thing is, one more thing to add to time management, depending on who you are and what background you have, you either increase your brain power, which you can do by reading books and increasing your mental stamina by doing, like chess and stuff like that. But that's besides the point. For my side of it, for people who have a very, very, very fast brain, slow your brain down and don't think as much. And I don't mean like completely don't think about anything at all, but like, let's just say you're overthinking about something that's literally so trivial, when you don't have to overthink about it. Like, that's one of my biggest problems, because I overthink and I overstim, and it's like there's something small, like someone looks at me a certain way, I'm like, oh my god, but I actually, no, recently I developed a mindset of like, I was trying to kill my ego, and I basically, this is supposed to be time management, and I'm stimming right now, because this is more or less, I'm stimming, it's all good, but I just, on the topic at hand, I'll put this in another video. I'll probably do day 4.2, now that I think about it, with more or less that. Or maybe not, depending, because I have stuff going on. But to end the video off, alarm system, calendars, depending on the situation, you either increase your brain power by reading and doing chess, or decrease your brain power by learning meditation techniques, breathing techniques, and self-awareness techniques. Which basically mean that you stop overthinking about a situation and getting your own head, and you calm down, think rationally, yet logically, but understand where the emotion stems from, if it's emotional. Understand where it stems from, and don't be in denial of where it comes from, because, you don't want to suppress emotions. You want to make sure that, you balance the emotion with the logic and become a yin and a yang, a balanced individual. Balance is key. Balance is the only way. And it is something that we can all aspire to as human beings, regardless of our past, where we come from, and where we're going. With that being said, have a wonderful night and have a wonderful day. And God bless whoever's watching this, and may all be well. Peace.